Hi, how you doing? This is Ryan, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Now, I'm no stranger to making response videos. I've made a few over the years. I've gone after grifters like Going Indie. I've criticized other content creators that I actually like, for example, Hidden Xperia, with his awful take on map packs. And 5 years ago, I just tore into this poor kid by the name of Bombfetti. Looking back at that response video all those years ago, I may have gone a bit overboard. However, what the kid said was still deeply stupid. Oh man, and here is one of my oldest response videos that I made to a content creator by the name of Nox talking about Destiny 2, and I actually got a reply from him in the comments section, grateful for my response, agreeing with my counter arguments. Oh, 2018, what a different time back then. For me, no matter the subject or the subject matter of said response video, I, for the most part, want to focus on the arguments and the ideas presented and not pollute the discourse with ad hominem remarks or personal attacks. However, as an advocate of honesty is the best policy and to be fully transparent with all of you, it can be very difficult for me to refrain from using ad hominem when I hear someone say something so deeply stupid. I don't want to call you an idiot, but I'm going to call you an idiot if you say something truly idiotic. Please understand, I love love and kindness and want everyone to be kind to each other, but if you unironically believe that the Earth is flat, I'm going to think you're a fucking idiot. There's no discussion, there's no debate to be had. What you believe is fucking stupid. I can't sugarcoat it, I can't be nice about it, I can't be diplomatic about this. You believe something that's fucking stupid. Case in point, the video I will be responding to in this video, Older Games Are Just Better by Incoherent Thoughts. This video was posted in my Discord server a couple weeks ago, and when I watched it, I honest to God thought it was parody. I thought it was satire. I thought it was making fun of people who say these things. But after looking at the comments of this video and checking out Incoherent Thoughts' other videos, no. He's being sincere, he's being honest. He says what he says in this video unironically. But as disturbing as that is, what's even more appalling is that this video has almost over 4,000 likes. I promise, you will all be left baffled and in awe when you hear what this man says in this video, and somehow over 4,000 people agree with it. Now, for the sake of clarification, there is absolutely nothing wrong with preferring and enjoying older video games. Hell, I encourage modern gamers, younger gamers to check out the older classics from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. There are a lot of underrated gems from that time period. Titles that have stood the test of time and are still a blast to play and tell powerful, gripping stories. Doesn't matter the generation, video games have always been awesome. Which is why I take great issue with anyone who proclaims that modern gaming sucks, that there's no good games nowadays, that older games were just objectively better. It's all bullshit. Making those claims, having that perspective, is just admission that you don't actually play any modern video games. Halo, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, they do not represent all of modern gaming. Hundreds of video games release every month, thousands every year, so there is no feasible way to purchase, play, and experience all of them. So in turn, making the grand, generalizing, sweeping statement that modern gaming sucks, that there are no new good games to play, that older games were objectively better, holds no water and is intellectually dishonest. If you just want to have a conversation about your personal preferences, by all means, but if you want to talk about stats and facts and objectivity, ooh, then we got a problem here, buddy, because the hard data, the actual numbers, do not support your arguments. Anyways, on to Incoherent Thoughts and his video. Look, I don't know the guy personally. Based on his other videos that I watched, he seems like a pretty normal dude with pretty normal gaming opinions, which is why this video is so weird and an outlier, because the things he says in this video are so fucking absurd. Incoherent Thoughts, if you see this, I swear I hold no malice towards you, but my god, dude, this video makes you look like a real silly Billy, a goofy goober even. And seeing as how no one else is giving you the criticism and feedback you quite obviously need, I guess I have to be the one to do it. Let's begin.
Older games actually are just better games. It's not just nostalgia. I believe they are better games. So to provide some context, I grew up in the PlayStation 1. It was the first console I had, so when I mention older games, I will mostly be talking about games that are from that era to maybe the later 2000s. But as I said, older games, more often than not, they just provide the better experience for the consumer. And a lot of people today will say, no, you're just nostalgic. And that's not entirely wrong, but I do believe it's mostly wrong.
All right, we're just over 20 seconds into this video, and I gotta say, honestly, so far, so good. We've presented our premise, our foundation, and now Mr. Incoherent Thoughts just needs to present his arguments and his supporting examples. And there's certainly a plethora he can pick from. There are a lot of benefits to retro gaming. I'm sure most of you watching can come up with several off the top of your heads right now. However, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's only downhill from here. You will not believe what Incoherent Thoughts' first example is in praising older games and condemning modern games. Like, prepare yourself.
But as I said, older games, more often than not, they just provide the better experience for the consumer. And a lot of people today will say, no, you're just nostalgic. And that's not entirely wrong, but I do believe it's mostly wrong. One thing a lot of older games had was soul to them. And what I mean by this is that every aspect, every detail of the game had thought and care put into it. Take the text, for example. A lot of older games had a unique font with color to really make the tone of the game shine. We're seeing less and less of this today.
Holy fucking shit! Do you all see? Do you all understand now why I thought this video was parody? Why I thought it was satire? Fucking text fonts and colors? Are you serious, man? We're judging the quality of video games based on text fonts and colors. That's so insane! What an insane statement to make! What a deeply stupid thing to believe in! That video games have more soul compared to one another based on text fonts and text color! Bro! Are you serious? How does this video have almost over 4,000 likes? It doesn't make any sense. Did no one actually watch the fucking video? No one in the comment section is making fun of him for this statement. It can't just be me. It can't just be me who thinks it's absolutely fucking insane to be judging games based on their text fonts and colors. This is such a myopic, pedantic, arbitrary thing to complain about and criticize a video game over. The idea that video games have more or less soul based on their text fonts and colors. I'm sorry, I can't let this go. That's such a fucking absurd, ridiculous, batshit insane statement to make. Guys, please let me know in the comments. Am I the crazy one here? Seeing the positive reception this video is getting, makes me think that I am, but I can't be the only one that fucking doesn't judge a video game or think lesser or more of it based on text font and text color. It can't just be me.
One thing a lot of older games had was soul to them, and what I mean by this is that every aspect, every detail of the game had thought and care put into it. Take the text, for example. A lot of older games had a unique font with color to really make the tone of the game shine. We're seeing less and less of this today. I first noticed this with Skyrim. Oblivion had a brownish type text that fit really well with your parchment-themed stats menu, but then in 2011 I played Skyrim and it was just this kind of plain white text. The game had less personality like this, I thought. Skyrim didn't even really have a theme at all. Whenever you opened your stats menu, it was just a transparent background with white text.
And now I gotta ask, why are you shitting on Skyrim? Skyrim is an older game, dude! It came out in 2011! It came out over a decade ago! That's an older game! And why the fuck are you lying? Skyrim absolutely does have a theme. It's Nordic. Who cares if the text is white? Do you not see the Nordic runes and tapestry embedded throughout the UI? Look, you're showing a screenshot with the fucking Nordic theme right there. What you're showing on screen is blatantly contradicting what you're saying. Just why are you shitting on Skyrim? I thought you were here to praise older games, but here you are shitting on an older game. You're not showing any examples of actual modern video games where you take issue with the fonts and colors of their text. God, that's so silly. It's so silly. Why are you such a silly Billy, Incoherent Thoughts? Why are you such a goofy goober? Oh my God, man. 1 minute. 1 minute into this video, and I can't take you seriously. I can't take anything you say seriously now. How does this video have almost 4,000 likes? Jesus Christ. Let's keep going.
Another thing is that music in these older games are iconic. We're not seeing so much of that anymore with newer games.
Oh, wow. It somehow got worse. Please tell me I don't need to explain why that's just objectively false and easily provably wrong.
Another thing is that music in these older games are iconic. We're not seeing so much of that anymore with newer games. Ocarina of Time has some banger tracks to it, and so did Kingdom Hearts. Hollow Bastion is still a song that pops into my head every now and then, and I haven't played Kingdom Hearts in a very long time. Even Modern Warfare 2 had some awesome tracks in it, but today, aside from Expedition 33, the game that people are praising for reminding them of how games used to be, I can't really think of many games that have a good music score.
Holy mother of God, so much to unpack here. Okay, before we get back to the music argument, why are you lying about Expedition 33? No one is praising Expedition 33 for reminding people how games used to be. Look at the video reviews. Look at the Steam reviews. You will not find this sentiment. I know. I looked for it. You'll find people praising the game for its artistry, for its craftsmanship, for its innovative take on turn-based combat. Certainly praise for its story and music, of course. But I could not find anyone praising the game for what Incoherent Thoughts says people are praising the game for. No one is praising Expedition 33 for reminding them how games used to be. This is pure projection. And I would argue, Incoherent Thoughts, you know this deep down. It's why you didn't provide any examples of this. Anyways, returning to the argument concerning music, like Incoherent Thoughts making this statement.
Another thing is that music in these older games are iconic. We're not seeing so much of that anymore with newer games. But today, aside from Expedition 33, the game that people are praising for reminding them of how games used to be, I can't really think of many games that have a good music score.
It's just so intellectually lazy and dishonest. So because you personally can't remember any modern video game soundtracks during the time of recording this video, that means modern video games don't have any memorable music. Like, bro, come on, man. First off, you've provided no examples as to what modern video games you've actually played. You've provided no references or basis for the kind of gamer that you are, what game genres you prefer, what current modern gaming platforms you own, what your current financial situation is, how many games you're able to buy in a year. Like, there's so much important information we're missing here. You're presenting yourself as an authority figure here, making all these definitive statements about gaming, but you haven't shown any credentials. And here you are making this grand, generalizing, sweeping claim that modern video games have no memorable music. Man, it would really suck for you if I just started playing a bunch of examples of modern video games with critically acclaimed soundtracks right now. It would make you look like a real silly Billy, a real goofy goober.
can't really think of many games that have a good music score.
Get the fuck out of here, man. You're being intellectually dishonest and lazy, and you fucking know it. How the fuck does this video have almost over 4,000 likes? Like, what is wrong with you, the people watching and liking this video? Thousands of you really don't see an issue with the fucking statements that he's making here. Are people, like, allergic to the truth, to reality? Do they have a grudge against it? Is there some reason we can't enjoy and praise old retro video game soundtracks and modern video game soundtracks too? Is there some reason they can't coexist? Some reason we can't praise and celebrate both? Like, what the fuck am I missing here? Anyways, moving on.
Another issue with a lot of games today is that they often don't trust the player to navigate their way through the environment. Tomb Raider, the modern ones for example, will let the player walk a few steps, solve a puzzle, then a cinematic plays. Then you walk a few steps, and another cinematic plays. Walk a few steps, and another cinematic plays. And these constant hiccups in pacing happen in the span of like 3 minutes.
Man, it would be fucking crazy if someone could just pull up a Let's Play on YouTube of the newer Tomb Raider reboot games and just fact check and see if that was actually true, or, just boot up the games themselves since they've been cheap and on sale and even given out for free over the years. It'd be fucking crazy if someone could watch or play the game right now and fact check and see if what you're saying is actually accurate. It's not, you're just fucking lying. Like, bro, the internet exists. People have the Tomb Raider games in their game libraries. They can check out the games for themselves and see that what you're saying just isn't true. It's not factually accurate. It does not represent reality. Why the fuck did you say this? And why are you shitting on the Tomb Raider reboot games? Those are old games. The Tomb Raider reboot came out in 2013, over a decade ago. It's an old game. Incoherent thoughts, I'm starting to think that you don't actually play any modern video games, which is why you can't give any modern examples to criticize. I mean, for God's sakes, this video came out in October of 2025, and your negative examples of modern games that aren't as good as older games are fucking Skyrim and Tomb Raider Reboot? How the fuck does this video have almost 4,000 likes? What the fuck? How does no one see the obvious issues with the framing and presentation of this video? How does no one take issue with the obviously deeply flawed arguments here? Moving on.
And a lot of people argue, well, those older games aren't as long as the new ones. And yes, you're correct, but ironically, that's more of a positive because they were at least fun to replay, and that's where they did become a longer experience.
No one is arguing this. In my research, I could not find anyone, any gaming influencer, content creator, journalist, what have you, I could not find anyone with an inkling of credibility in the gaming space making the argument that older games are worse because they don't take as long to complete and reach the end credits as newer games. No one's making this argument. Again, incoherent thoughts. We're being intellectually dishonest and lazy here. The fact, again, you show no examples, you provide no evidence that anyone is making this argument speaks for itself. You say, and a lot of people will argue, who are these lot of people? Because I sure as hell couldn't find them.
And a lot of people will argue, well, those older games aren't as long as the new ones. And yes, you're correct, but ironically, that's more of a positive because they were at least fun to replay, and that's where they did become a longer experience.
Fun is subjective. You cannot use fun as an argument for objective quality. Fun is subjective. I've been saying this for years. Stop it.
And a lot of people will argue, well, those older games aren't as long as the new ones. And yes, you're correct, but ironically, that's more of a positive because they were at least fun to replay, and that's where they did become a longer experience. A lot of games today don't have that replay value.
A lot of games today don't have that replay value. Is that so, incoherent thoughts? So, all of these games don't have replay value? How about all of these games? And all of these games? Maybe, just maybe, you can provide some actual examples?
A lot of games today don't have that replay value. Most of the newer games make a multiple playstyle gimmick as justification for saying a game has replay value.
Dishonored? You're using Dishonored as an example? Now we're shitting on Dishonored? Are you fucking serious, dude? First off, Dishonored is an older game. It came out in 2012. Second, it's one of the most critically acclaimed video games of all time, and you're trying to use it as a negative example of modern gaming not having replayability? What the fuck is this video? What is wrong with you, my guy? And what is wrong with all of you, the people who watched and liked this video? almost over 4,000 likes, and no one in the comments questions these awful arguments, these awful examples. He just shits on Skyrim, Tomb Raider, and Dishonored when this is supposed to be a video about modern gaming? All of your examples are critically acclaimed, beloved video games from over a decade ago. Incoherent thoughts. Honest question. Did you record this video like 10 years ago and just forgot to upload it? I mean, it still would have been a god-awful video that made awful arguments, but at least it would have, like, made a lick of sense why these games were the ones you were using as examples, because I feel like I'm going insane here. Imagine shitting on Skyrim, Tomb Raider, and Dishonored, implying that these games have no soul because of their text fonts and colors, that they don't have memorable soundtracks, and that they're not replayable. Did anyone who hit the like button for this video even watch the goddamn video? Oh god, we're almost done. Moving on.
A lot of games today don't have that replay value. Most of the newer games make a multiple playstyle gimmick as justification for saying a game has replay value. Older games had replay value simply because they were just fun to play. They didn't need multiple playstyles. You just had one really fun game to play, and when you were done, you wanted to go replay it again.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're actually unironically implying that the Splinter Cell games didn't allow for multiple playstyles? So you just haven't played the Splinter Cell games? Like, you just know Splinter Cell's like an older gaming franchise and that's why you're putting it up on screen, but if you had actually played any Splinter Cell game, you would know that these games allowed for multiple playstyles. Holy shit, dude. Video has almost 4,000 likes, by the way.
And I think this slog of gameplay is what hinders the user experience in a lot of ways, because a lot of the time, half the content is just filler and nothing meaningful. Whereas if you play an older game, it has just a few things they set out for you to do, and when you're done, that was it. Thanks for playing, we hope you enjoyed. A lot of older games didn't outstay their welcome.
You're comparing an open world game to a linear level-based game. Please don't tell me I need to explain why this is such a deeply flawed argument and comparison. Holy fucking shit, man! These games aren't in the same genre. They have different design goals and philosophies. Like, come on, man! You're an adult! This is baby shit!
It's one of the big reasons indie titles are still getting good feedback today. They set out to do something and do a good job doing it. I played older games wanting more because I enjoyed what they already gave. Today I play games wanting more because I feel like I haven't actually scratched the surface yet, and I believe that is the problem.
Indie titles, which are still modern video games, that represent modern gaming. All of the examples, all of the game titles you are showing on screen are games that prove all of your arguments wrong. You are saying that modern video games don't have soul because of their text fonts and chats. You're saying they don't have memorable soundtracks. You're saying they're not replayable. But now you're showing a bunch of modern video games on screen that prove that your arguments are wrong and that modern games have all these things that you say modern games don't have. Holy fucking shit, man!
Today I play games wanting more because I feel like I haven't actually scratched the surface yet, and I believe that is the problem. Older games are shorter but more meaningful, while newer games are longer but dreadful.
You're comparing a linear puzzle game to an open world game, man! Of course they're gonna be fucking different in game length. Of course one's gonna take longer to complete than the other. Come on, man!
Today, with the technology we have, you expect the experience to be amplified, to be more exciting. But instead, all the money goes into unnecessary details that most people will not ever notice, or it goes into unnecessary cinematics, the part of the game that isn't even playing the game.
Goes into details that most people will not even notice. While you have on screen a tweet with 11,000 likes and 2.7 million views. The jokes write themselves. Do you understand why I thought this video was parody? Why I thought it was satire? Incoherent thoughts. Why are you showing on screen an example that definitively contradicts and debunks the argument you are making? How Just how? How can you argue that people won't notice or care about these details when you show that thousands upon thousands of people notice and do care about these details? For fuck's sakes, there's viral YouTube videos with millions of views showcasing people amazed and in awe of older games with unnecessary details like Far Cry 2 and Left 4 Dead. People like realistic, unnecessary details. They think they're cool. You're just fucking objectively wrong, you absolute silly Billy goofy goober motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
And I want to be clear that when I'm talking about this subject, I am speaking in a general sense. There have been bad or mediocre games that have existed in every generation, and there are good games today that might have extra content or some challenges that the player missed, and it still works because the main course delivered so much. But to me, there is a noticeable shift in the amount of bad games or games that are just bloated with mediocrity that it appears to slowly be turning into the norm.
Huh, that's odd. I can just boot up Google and do some basic research and see that the numbers show that that's just not the case. But sure, I guess your feelings matter more than the facts, eh, Incoherent Thoughts?
And that's what sparks a lot of us to say, games used to be good. Expedition 33 and Lies of P are the exception. They both provide an original and an exceptional experience for the player that they'll never forget.
Ah yes, just Expedition 33 and Lies of P. There are no other good modern video games. Just those two. I guess these 4 games you showcased earlier in the video don't count. I guess Baldur's Gate 3, Helldivers 2, Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong don't count either, eh? All those pesky modern video games that contradict and debunk this fucking bizarre weirdo narrative you're trying to spin.
So this is just my take on it. I don't believe we enjoyed older games solely for the nostalgia, and my enjoyment of older games I never played is evidence for that. These older games simply were just better games. I enjoy them.
Bro. Did you seriously just hit us with the because I enjoy playing older video games, that is evidence that older video games are better than modern games? My guy, you are a grown-ass adult. You do realize the argument you just made was the kind of argument a kindergartner would make. I like something, therefore it's good, and everything else is bad. Bro, dude, why did you make this video? Why did you say the things that you said? Oh my god! You couldn't just praise older video games that you liked and enjoyed? You couldn't have just been normal about this? You could have easily just made a video praising older video games that you enjoyed instead of shitting on modern games for the most fucking banana reasons I've ever heard in a video. Shitting on video games for text fonts and colors, and then lying about modern video games not having memorable music or replayability. Just, what the hell, man? Look, Incoherent Thoughts, if you see this video, I sincerely apologize if at any point in this video I come off as making things perhaps too personal or being genuinely malicious. I assure you that was not the intention. I do not know you personally as a human being. I don't think you're a bad person, but holy mother of God, man, this is a terrible fucking video with abysmal arguments. And you, yes you, the viewer who watched and liked this video and was completely uncritical of it and didn't think about anything Incoherent Thoughts said, didn't think about any of the arguments or examples he presented, and thought everything was just A-okay, you are a problem. You are a mindless consumer who thinks uncritically of the content you consume. Look, if you play and enjoy older video games, good for you! I'm happy for you! But guess what? You don't need to shit on and tell weird lies about modern video games in order to enjoy older video games. Just go play and enjoy your older video games. Genuinely good, well-made, modern video games still released today. It doesn't matter how much you hate the modern video game industry and its anti-consumer business practices, that fact still remains. This whole all modern video games suck now rhetoric is all fake, forced, and corny as hell. The facts do not care about your feelings. We have the sales numbers and the review scores to prove it. There is no shortage of quality modern video games to pick up, play, and experience. However, if you prefer playing older video games, more power to you. And you are perfectly capable of doing that without being a lying weirdo about modern video games. Anyways, that's all I have to say. That's my response to Incoherent Thoughts video, and that's where my video here now comes to a close. Thank you for watching. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment in the comment section sharing your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. If you want to help out and support the video, then please share it on social media, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, maybe some Discord servers. If you want to help out and support me directly and help me keep this YouTube thing going, please consider making a financial donation via the Super Thanks feature here on YouTube or by clicking on the links and donating via my Buy Me a Coffee and or Ko-Fi pages, links in the description down below. Anyways, once again, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all later. Don't be assholes to Incoherent Thoughts. By all means, ask questions, have a little bit of playful teasing, but let's keep things civil, shall we, folks? We can criticize the ideas without criticizing the person. However, we can still also call that person a silly Billy and a goofy goober. Fucking text fonts and colors. Can't you see? This video game has no soul. If only the text was Comic Sans and purple.